At this point, I'm going to walk you through the payment options as well as how to scan items into your shopping cart with the kiosk and all the other elements involved that you may need to know for the Micromart experience. So first step, as I alluded to earlier, the kiosk screen here, it rolls through a list of current promotions. Before you begin, if you just would like to see the kiosk, you touch the screen to begin, or you take any item of merchandise and you scan the item. So to initiate, I'm just going to touch the screen here. What you're going to see is on the top left, there's a login button, there's a new account button, and at the bottom left, I would like to call it the help button. The reason why I'd like to call it the help button, if there's any issues, any recommendations in regards to our portfolio and potentially some items that you'd like to see, just press this button here. It pops open a box here that outlines an email address. Her name is Sarah. She's our local supervisor of our vending operation. Just shoot her a note, and by all means, if you got any recommendations or any issues, she's more than willing to help you out. Next, before we dive into account setup, creating a new account, or how to log into a current existing account that you may have, that is an added benefit of this micromarket. By all means, you don't have to set up an account. The true benefit of that is being able to utilize cash as an option for a transaction. So for example, for simple math, if you have your shopping cart loaded with $3 worth of merchandise and you have a $5 bill, you need to log into your account. The reason why is after you scan your items and you hit pay with cash and you load your cash in the bill inserter, you're going to have $2 remaining. It automatically will load those $2 funds on your account, and once you log out, let's say the next day you come in here, you will have the $2 remaining on your account. So next step, I'm going to show you how to scan merchandise and load it in your shopping cart. So this will be an example for a one-time user. So first step is identifying a barcode. Each piece of merchandise here has a unique barcode. So for this Mountain Dew, I'm going to place it right in front of the scanner. It's very sensitive. It picked it up right away when I was about 5 inches away from the scanner. It is recommended you hold it about 2-3 inches away, just so it's close enough to register. So I scanned it twice. I did that on purpose as an accident to show you the feasibility of removing items from the shopping cart. So since I have 2 there, I'm just going to select remove. So now I only have the 1 in my shopping cart. Next, I'll show you the bag of chips here. So we got a bag of Doritos. Barcode is on the lower right. One thing I would like to call out with our merchandise, and this is not something common with beverages, it's mostly with pastries and chips, is sometimes the barcodes can get a little bit crumpled or creased. It's just based on the design of the package. One thing I ask, and just so it reduces potentially some future frustration, just make sure that you straighten out the barcode and have it straight as possible to the barcode scanner when you're scanning your merchandise. So now that I loaded the Doritos and the Mountain Dew in my shopping cart, you're going to see the total at the bottom here. The next step in the process is then determining your mode of payment. So there's a few options. The first is paying with your account. So that is if you have a market account set up. And with a market account, the benefits are preloading money ahead of time on the account, as well as the cash option. Because with this kiosk, there's no physical change back, so there's no coins, there's no bills that it will give back to you. It will automatically deposit the remaining value or amount back onto your account. The next is credit or debit card. So if I were to select pay credit and debit, it automatically prompts the card reader right here to activate, in which you would take your credit card. If you have a chip, you insert from the bottom. If you don't have a strip and you just have a mag stripe, you simply swipe right here. All right, and once you do swipe, it asks you one question, whether to accept or decline. You simply hit accept, process the transaction, and then when it has processed, the outline of the kiosk screen will outline in a green color. One other thing that I'd like to call out is with the market account, I referenced there's a lot of different forms of payment. When you have an account set up, you can actually assign a market card, and or you can assign any one of your fingerprints using this biometric function here, or a thumb scanner. The market card, we have them currently located right over here to the left of the kiosk. They say 3 Square Market. What's very fun about these is when you do assign the barcode or this unique card to your account, you don't physically have to type in your email address and password every single time you log into the kiosk. This is a lot quicker. But one thing I would like to call out with these cards, if you were to drop this and someone else were to pick it up, you got to treat this like cash because anyone could use it. But in the instance you do lose it and you know you do have a value on there, you can reach out to that help button and ask Sarah to deactivate the card, and we could transfer those funds to a different card for you. So this is a great option, but the fun option that we have, as I mentioned, is assigning one of your fingerprints to your account. So what I'll do is, I already have my thumb assigned to my account. I'll go to the scanner here. So it just logged in, unique to me. It says Welcome Hogan. And right now my market balance is $3.45. So one thing I would like to call out with this, and just big picture, added benefits of this, the fingerprint scanner, the market card is an option. You can do all of them if you'd like. I have one of these personally as well. But here is the option for depositing funds into the account. So if you were to select deposit here, it's going to ask you your increment and what you'd like to deposit. It's in increments of 5, 10, or 20. Let's say I wanted to go $10. This is utilizing a card deposit, so I'd either enter or swipe my card. Another option is cash deposit. So when you do that, you simply just load your cash right in the bill acceptor. If you are adding a blank market card, when you take one of these from here, after you set up your account, to assign a scan tag, it's simply selecting Add Scan Tag, barcodes on the back, and you hold it right in front of this scanner. So I scanned it there. The reason why it's not processing for me right now is because I already have one of these assigned to my account. At this step, or at this stage, I'm going to walk you all through new account setup. The benefits of this, as I alluded to earlier, is being able to deposit funds on your account and the ability to use cash, and your change back is deposited on your account. So first step, I got Brian here. I'm going to be walking him through how to set up an account. So first step is activating the screen by touching it. Next step is selecting this button that says New Account. So at this portion, what Brian will be doing is entering his first name and his last name. So we'll select the cursor in the first name and I'll have him enter his name. One recommendation I do have is when you are pressing the buttons on the keyboard, just take it nice and easy. Sometimes if you select the options too fast, it could cause you to double tap a button and then you have to constantly hit the backspace. So just take your time. Next step, after you enter your first and last name, is setting up or assigning an email to the account. The only reason why we have you do this is in the occasion that you potentially forget your password, we can send you a account recovery email in which you select the link and you can reassign a new password. So now I'll have Brian enter his email here. Next step, after Brian just input his email address, is setting up a unique quick PIN and a unique password associated with the account. The quick PIN needs to be 4 to 6 digits, and the password is at your discretion, but it has to be at least 5 characters. One thing I would like to call out, this truly only needs to be a one-time setup. Once you assign a market card or you assign one of your fingerprints using the biometric function, you don't need to remember your password again. So now I'll have Brian enter his information here. All right, now that Brian has set up his account, it's going to appear on the top left where it says Welcome Brian. Now Brian has his account created and he is logged in. You'll see at the top left it says Welcome Brian and his market balance is set at $0. If he were to want to add funds right away to his account, he would simply press deposit, and this is where it gives you the options of the increments. You can either load the cash or you can utilize the credit card. I'll back out here again. I mentioned earlier that there's a couple different options other than using your quick PIN and password or your email and password to log in. You can utilize a market card and assign that to your account, or you can use one of your fingerprints. We'll set Brian up with a tag right now. So there's a unique barcode on the back. These are blank here. So to assign this to his account, I'm simply going to press this button that says Add Scan Tag. Take the scan tag in front of the scanner. It said tag was successfully added to the account, but then there was actually another option that popped up that provided an X and said this is a duplicate. That may happen to you, and it is common simply because this scanner is so sensitive that it actually scanned it twice in a row repeatedly. So that's why it gave that error message at the end. But in order to show you that this works, I'm going to log Brian out right now. So once he's logged out, I'm now going to assign him or scan him back in to his account. So now it says welcome Brian, so this scan tag was successfully added to Brian's account. Another option is the fingerprint. This is a one-time setup, and you can actually assign more than one finger. I always recommend just your right thumb. It is the easiest. To do this, there's a calibration process, and I'll walk you through that. Select Add Fingerprint. This is going to prompt you to the fingerprint scanner on the lower right. There is a message or a little short video clip showing you how this works. It's simply taking your thumb, applying it on the scanner, and lifting it off. What we do ask is that you follow the same repetition as this model right here. So if you could start, Brian, by adding your thumb for calibration. So on, off, and keep doing that. So as Brian is calibrating right here, he's applying his thumb on the scanner and removing it, and he's doing this repeatedly. At the top, it's showing a number of samples that are captured. Once the machine captures enough samples to recognize his thumb to his account, it's going to say successful, that it has been added. So now you're going to select yes, Brian. And so now Brian's thumb was just entered to his account. One recommendation I do have for this process is when you are applying your thumb to the scanner, make sure you're not putting it at an angle. You want it as flat as possible to the scanner. That way it gets a good reading of your full thumb. So next step, just to show you how this works, if you just come down to the basement and you grab your merchandise and you're ready to check out. So to show you the steps for signing into your account with the fingerprint, you would just touch the screen to initiate, and what Brian will do is take his thumb and throw it on the scanner. And he is signed in. So Brian is very fortunate. It took him one try, took him less than 2 seconds to sign in. Occasionally, depending on the time of the year and your fingers and how easily they are read, it may take a couple tries to scan. So be patient with it, but it will recognize your finger. Next, I'm going to be walking you through the differences between a one-time Micromarket user and a Micromarket user that has an account. The biggest call out I have is a misconception many employees have is you have to set up an account. That is not the case. Whenever you come down here, you can simply just grab your Bang Energy, scan the item, and then you follow the prompts on the kiosk here. So you have the choice between the debit or credit card, Apple Pay or Google Pay. If you want to utilize cash, that is when you would have to have a market account, simply because if there's any funds remaining, such as if your total balance is $3 and you throw in a $5, the remaining $2 would then be loaded onto your market account because there's no change back. So that is the benefit of the market account, but you can come down here every single time and just use a credit card and you never have to set up an account. There's just added benefits to it. Next, I would like to walk you through promotions. So I did grab Bang as an example because for this month it is on promo for 2 for $4. So you'll notice when I scan just one, it rings up at $2.99 a can. If I were to take that same can or any other flavor, there's 2 in your shopping cart, but the promotion then is initiated. It shows apply coupon of $1.98. So that brings it 2 for $4, and then the taxes applied brings your total of $4.26. As I referenced earlier, all promotions are highlighted or showcased through the kiosk, so that is how we communicate with you all.